Hey guys, Brain Cell What If here. It's been a month since I last uploaded. It's just I had to get some things straight, but I'm back with a new What If. This is gonna be a different kind of What If. It's gonna be Deku. What if Deku was overpowered and rich? But so and I'm gonna also I'm gonna follow the My Hero Academia storyline, but I'm gonna have my own twists and versions of it. And yeah. So the way this is gonna happen is, this is gonna be a different kind of story, where I'm gonna you'll see. So let's get strapped in and let's try not to lose some brain cells and let's get in. So we're gonna first start off when Midoriya was born. Now Midoriya is still gonna be born by Inko and Isashi, but they're it's gonna be a lot different. Instead of them being in an average household, instead of Deku being in an average household, he's gonna be in the rich part of town. His mom Inko is a well-known scientist, and his dad is a well-known researcher of, let's just say, random things, because I don't really feel like thinking of what he could be. But Deku is gonna be born with white hair and blue eyes like this, and we're gonna start off when he's about, let's say, and UA is gonna be a college in this version. So we're gonna start off where Deku is 4 years old, and he goes to the quirk doctor, and when he goes there, he isn't quirkless, but they don't know what his quirk is because it's they just can't figure out what his quirk is. They said the best thing is that they should take Midoriya home and make sure he's all right, and when he awakens his quirk, they'll find out. So he goes to school the next day, and people start bullying him because he doesn't know what his quirk is, yada yada yada. But then we're gonna time skip where we're gonna time skip to, let's say, when he is 10, and he looks like this when he's 10. But he's still friends with Bakugo, and Bakugo is still manga spoilers, but Bakugo doesn't understand why he feels like he's weaker than Deku, so that's why he bullies him. But throughout the time, Bakugo gets a little bit more mellowed out and stuff. But then Midoriya awakens his quirk during school. It's during an earthquake when this happens. Midoriya, from his white hair. Wait, let me get the picture. His white hair turns black, and his eyes turn green. And Midoriya does wear glasses in this version, and they all see this. And the earthquake ends when Deku fully transforms into this version of him. And they ask, and Bakugo goes, "Yo, Midoriya, what happened to you?" Well, no, he goes, "Hey, Deku, what the hell happened to you?" As Deku stands up and goes, "What do you want? My name ain't Deku." And then Bakugo says, "Then what's your name, nerd?" And he goes, "Don't call me a nerd. My name, I don't, let's just call me, let me think of a name actually." As he says, "My name's Bolt." As Deku stands up and says, "My name's Bolt, not Midoriya." As as Bakugo goes, "Pfft, so what? I can still beat you." As Bolt says, "Bring it on." As they start fighting in PE. I forgot to mention, this is in PE class. As they start fighting, not using their quirks. And the teacher, hasn't noticed this because the teacher is making sure all the rest of the kids are safe because of the earthquake and stuff. As they're going hand to hand in combat, as well, it's more as in Deku or Bolt is dodging, with his hands in his pocket, and he already took off his glasses, but he has his hands in his pocket as he's just dodging Bakugo, as Bakugo is getting angrier and angrier and starts using his explosions, as the teacher finally noticed and says, "Hey, break it up, you two," as Bolt is still dodging, as Bakugo goes, "Damn it, why can't I hit you?" As Bolt says, "Fine, hit me," as he stands still, as Bakugo gets a clean hit and he goes, "Finally, I got that damn nerd." As the smoke clears and you just see Bolt standing there, and he goes, "You've had enough." As Bakugo goes, "What the?" As Bolt freaking blitzes Bakugo and pushes back his hair, like like this in the, you know what I mean, he puts back his hair slick style, and he freaking blitzes Bakugo and punches him straight in the gut as Bakugo gets knocked out, as a Bolt catches him and goes, "Hey, teach, I'm bringing Bakugo to the nurse's office." And the teacher says, "Wait a minute, you guys were," as Bolt says, "I said I'm bringing him to the nurse's office. We just had a little oh, sorry about that." But he goes, Bolt says, "We had a little disagreement, that's it." As the teacher was like, "Oh, okay." As Midoriya is just walking, or Bolt is just walking to the nurse's office and lays Bakugo on the nurse's bed, and he says, yeah, he passed out." As Deku just walks away, and he goes to his teacher, and he's out of his PE clothes, and he goes, "Hey, teach, I'm going home." As the teacher says, "Why?" As Bolt says, "Because my quirk awakened." And he goes, "Oh, well, that's fantastic, Midoriya." As Bolt says, "I'm not Midoriya." As another earthquake starts happening, and he goes, "See you later." As he walks home, and he gets home. Well, he doesn't walk home. He calls his butler, his driver, and he gets drove home. And he gets home. His mom isn't home yet, so he just sits there, plays some video games, watches YouTube, reads some manga, and just does the stuff that Deku would usually do when he gets home. And in this story, Deku still has the personality of a hero. He's just a little more cocky, and well, not cocky, but more lazy than in the original. But you'll see. But then his mom gets home after 5-6 hours of him being home, of him being by himself. As she says, "Oh, so you're home?" And he goes, "Yeah, I came home early. Can we go to the doctor's?" She goes, "Oh, is it about your black hair?" And he goes, "Yes, my quirk awakened." As they go to their personal doctor, as they do say his quirk awakened, and it's one of the most powerful things they've ever seen. They don't know how to classify it, so Bolt just says, let's just call it dimension, as it has a lot of stuff in it, because he's gonna be overpowered. But they go, "Oh, okay," and his quirk is called dimension, and Bolt says, "How do I deactivate this? I'm getting tired." As they go, "We don't know." As he goes, "Let me just try relaxing." As he takes a deep breath in and then blows out, and then as Midoriya comes back and goes, "Oh, oh, damn. I guess my quirk awakened, and it has a personality." As they're like, "What?" "Yeah, I guess my quirk has a personality. His name is Bolt, and I can hear him in the back, snoring." And they go, "Really?" As Midoriya says, yeah, it's kind of annoying. As they're like, ah. So Midoriya, grows up a little better. Actually, yeah, no, it's still a college. As he grows up better, and he's and he let me get the picture of what he looks like. As now he's around 18, and this is how he looks. He's really lazy and apathetic, and he's very, very super smart, but he doesn't like to try a lot. As when he's like this, he can use his quirk, but it's not at the full capability of when Bolt takes over. So when so it's the quirk, no, not quirk, entrance exam. As he's listening to some tunes, not paying attention, walking. Well, actually, he's not walking. He after. So what happened was, it was time, and he got in his limousine, and he gets drove there, and all the kids look at him like, "Whoa, who's this guy?" As he gets out of the car, yawns, going, "Why do they have to have this so early?" As he tries to, he takes like 2-3 steps and goes, "Ugh, too much work." As he starts floating, and it looks like he's laying down, like taking a nap while floating, and he floats to the assembly hall. As a blue hair with glasses grabs him and says, "You're not supposed to be using your quirk out in public." As it's all, and as you know who it is, it's Ida. As Midoriya says, why not? As Ida says, because it's you're not allowed to. It's against the law. As Midoriya, stops floating and stands and says, "But I'm tired, bruh." As Ida says, "That's no excuse." As Izuku goes, "Oh, okay." As he just walks and to the place, and they take the test, and they take the written test, and Midoriya gets high. He's sleeping. It's like they start like, and 20 minutes after he's sleeping, and he starts snoring a little bit. As the person next to him taps him, as Midoriya goes, what did I miss?" As the guy goes, "You were snoring," and he goes, "Oh, sorry about that." Ugh. Do we have to go? And he's like, "No, it's only been 20 minutes. How are you already asleep?" As this is Bakugo. And, over the years of them fighting together, Bakugo has had a mutual respect of Deku. They both don't consider each other friends, but, they're buddies. Like, they wouldn't say that they're friends, but they're friends. And Bakugo, still has that attitude of, I hate you, but, secretly likes you. So Deku, grabs his paper and walks down and says, "Here." As President Mike says, "You, are you sure?" As Deku goes, "Yeah, I'm gonna be up there." As he walks back up with his hands in his pocket, while his headphones are still on. And President Mike looks at the paper and he goes, "What the? This kid," as he thinks in his mind, "this kid got all the questions right. And, he even corrected some of the false questions that Nezu put on there." As, because it's only 20 minutes, President Mike goes out of the hall to where the rest of the observatory, where they were, rating the heroes and stuff. And he says, "Nezu, you gotta look at this." As Nezu says, "Oh, Mike, weren't you supposed to be, weren't you supposed to be observing the written test?" As Mike says, "There's no time for that. Look at this." As he goes, "What could be so important? It's only been 20. Did a kid write this?" As he goes, "Yeah, and only in 20 minutes." As everybody in there is shocked, and he asked Mike what participation number is, and they give him the participation number. I don't feel like thinking of it. As they see Izuku Midoriya, as they're like, "Oh, the Midoriya house. Of course, he's smart." As the Midoriya is well known, even in the hero society. They deal with all types of stuff, and they're even more rich and more profound than the Yaoyorozus. As Midoriya, is sleeping, as it becomes the time to explain the robots, as he's sleeping, going, as President Mike is giving the the robots, as Ida stands up. "Sir, you failed to mention the fourth robot. If this is a mistake on UA, it is an insult. You guys are supposed to be the best student." And before Mike could even say anything, he says, "And you there, stop sleeping. You are disrupting the other participants." As Deku, still didn't wake up. As Bakugo kicks him, and he goes, What did I miss? What did I miss?" As Ida says, "You are distracting other people." As Deku goes, "Ugh, dude, just let me sleep, bruh. I stayed up playing video games. Can I just sleep?" As Ida says, "You are supposed to be respect." And wait 1 second. As his hair turns, wait 1 second. I forgot. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. But as his hair turns black, and his eyes turn green, and he pulls a pair of glasses out of his, let's say, pocket or whatever, and he pushes them up, and he goes, and it's exactly the picture you see right here. As he goes, "Izuku said he was tired. Now let him sleep." As they can all feel a heavy aura on them. As he's releasing, as Bolt is releasing bloodlust, and he goes, "If you don't quiet down, I'll make you." As President Mike goes, "Okay, participants, let's let that anger, out on the robots. And to answer your question, that's just an obstacle. He's worth 0 points. You should just avoid him." As he goes, "Oh, thank you." As they go outside, and Deku still has his black hair, so he's Bolt. So he's this Bolt. As he goes, as Ida goes up to him and says, uh, sorry." As he goes, No problem, bro. It's all good, Izuku can be a little much at times." As he says, "Why do you talk?" As Ida says, "Why do you talk in the third person?" As Bolt says, "I'm not." "Oh, have you ever heard of a personality quirk?" As Ida says, Yeah, isn't it a quirk that has a personality?" And Bolt says, "Yeah. So I'm the quirk. My name's Bolt. Nice to meet you." As let me grab the picture. As he looks like this, where his eyes change to gray, and the metal things just appeared on him. As what's it called? He says, as Ida says, "Oh, oh, well, that's cool. Nice to meet you too." As Bolt says, "You should let loose a little more. Um, if you're too stuck up with the rule, if you have too much, if you're wound up too much, it can lead to failure, and you're less open-minded." As Ida says, Why should I be A hero doesn't have to be open-minded. And as Izuku goes, as Bolt says, wait 1 second, as he snaps his finger, and everything else stops around him, and Ida goes, what did you do? As Bolt says, oh, this is one of my powers, because I wanted to have a long conversation with you. You seem like a guy I could get along with. I just didn't want the test to interrupt us, so I just stopped time for a bit. As Ida goes, are you able to put it back? As Bolt says, of course I can. Do you think I would stop time and not be able to put it back? That's just stupid and reckless. As the inner monologue of Ida said, he thinks, Bolt actually seems like he thinks a lot more than, he seems light, bubbly, and, carefree at the surface, but he actually, thinks. He thinks a lot. As Bolt says, well, man, a hero should be open-minded because, sometimes, it's not just straightforward. Sometimes it's not straightforward. Sometimes you have to find the roundabout way. As Ida goes, oh, as Bolt says, well, I'm gonna start time again so I don't waste too much of my power before the entrance exam. As Ida goes, oh, right. As he snaps his fingers, as President Mike says, as the doors open and President Mike says, go, go, go! There's no countdown in a real battle! As they all start running, and Izuku's just standing there. Bolt. And Bolt just standing there. He takes off his glasses, and his eyes turn purple. And literally, in a blink of an eye, he blitzes past all of them, creating a shockwave that blows most of the kids off balance. And, in 1 second, he's already amassed 300 points. As the heroes are like, whoa, what just happened? As they see, it's the same kid that with the test, but he looks a little different. As Nezu says, I was gonna wait for this. I was gonna wait to bring this out, but I think there's time. I think I could bring this out now. As he presses a button, as the 0 pointer comes out. As Izuku or Bolt feels a rumble in the floor, and he goes, must be the 0 pointer. And in Bolt's head, you hear Izuku say, what do you mean 0 pointer? As Bolt says in his head to Midoriya, did you already forget? I am literally the 4th dimension. I'm literally from the 5th dimension. Time and space do not mean anything to me. As Izuku goes, oh yeah, I'm still racking my brain around how you're from the 5th dimension, bruh. It's so tiring. As Bolt says, you're always fucking tired. Izuku goes, yeah, so? As Bolt says, never mind. As Bolt realizes Bolt can hear some, as he's already taken off the headphones. The reason Izuku wears the headphones is because he likes listening to music, but the reason Bolt wears them is because they're actually noise canceling. As, when he takes them off, he's able to hear a lot clearer, he's able to hear a lot better. And he usually needs noise canceling headphones because, he has really good ears. But because of his healing factor, it doesn't mess up his hearing, but it does really, really hurt. As he can still feel pain, but he just heals really fast. As he hears a girl cry for help, as he just blitzed straight there, and he sees a brown-haired girl asking for help, and he goes, I'm right here. And she says, can you help me? And Bolt says, I could, but never mind. As he picks her up, and, he's throwing her bridal style, as the 0 pointer goes to punch Bolt, as he straight runs up the the arm of the 0-pointer and straight roundhouse kicks the head clean off. As he goes, oh, fuck, I put a little too much power in that. As, you just see it go, the contestants just see it go, go super far and disappear out of their vision. As Bolt says, I hope, that wasn't important, because now it's in space. As Uraraka it's Uraraka, as she goes, what do you mean? And as Bolt says, nothing. I just, hope that doesn't come back to bite me in the ass. As we cut to part of space where, some extraterrestrials are in their ship, exploring, as they get hit by a giant metal object. As one says, Captain, we've been hit. As the captain says, was it an attack? As one of them says, we don't know. It came from a distant planet. As he goes, pull up the planet. It's inhabited by humanoid. It's inhabited by creatures called humans, sir, and they seem not to be able to space travel. But some of them, around 80% of them, have a unique power. As he goes, well, let's go see. Anyways, as they start heading to Earth, as we cut back to, Earth, as Deku is walking out of the field, and the girl he was with asks where he's going before he walks out, as he says, I'm going home. I don't feel like, anybody's gonna catch up with me. I'm going. As his hair, let me get the picture again. As he turns back into this version of himself, as Bolt goes back and Izuku comes out and he hits his face against the concrete. As she goes, are you okay? And he goes, yeah, I just wasn't expecting the switch, so right now I was kind of sleeping. As, he gets back off, dusts himself, as he starts floating, and he goes, he looks like he has his hands behind his head, floating, like he doesn't care, going, that should be enough. As he floats to the front, and he can't see his driver, so he calls his driver. The driver picks him up, and he goes, actually, drop me off right here. As, he's near a mall, so there's a lot of stores, as he's just walking around looking at stuff. As there's not a lot of people out. And, he's right now, Izuku, even though he doesn't like being told what to do and he's lazy, there is one thing that motivates him. Actually, there's only two things that motivate him: video games and girls. So right now he's out hunting, for girls, as he wants to, do some private studying with them, as he can't find any, and he goes, come on, isn't there any babes? As he gets a text, and he goes, oh, it's from Momo. As he texts back, as the text says, you probably won't get this until you're done your test, but how did it go? As he texts back immediately, oh, it was fun. It was, it was easy. As Momo texts, aren't you supposed to isn't the test still going on? As Deku says, yeah, it is. As Momo is text, why are you texting me and not doing the test? As he texts, because I left. And she texts in all caps, why did you leave? As he texts back, because I got 300 points and I got around 500. No, not sorry. I got 500 regular points. Well, I got 300. Bolt got 300. No, Bolt got 300 and I got 200 villain points, and we got some rescue points. I don't feel like calculating it. As she goes, there was rescue points? As in this version, I know there's a race, but I don't know if that's the only version of the recommendation exam. So I'm just gonna say that the recommendation exam has the race and the villain and the robot test, but Nezu didn't do the 0-pointer. As then Momo texts right after there was rescue points. She goes, well, it kind of makes sense. As Izuku goes, so how is your relationship with your girlfriend? As Momo goes, shut up. Text, shut up. As Deku just straight up teleports to Momo's house in her room. As he says, hey, Momo, behind you. As she goes, ah! Deku, why? As he starts laughing and going, because it was funny. And she says, why are you always so lazy when it comes to everything else? But when it comes to teasing video games and picking up girls, are you so energetic? As he goes, I don't fucking know. As he says, you wanna hang out with me? And she goes, sure. As he grabs her and teleports her. And she goes, I can't get used to that. As she says, well, you gotta. As they just spend a little bit at the mall. And, they spend, let's say 2 hours at the mall. As he says, the entrance exam should be over. As she goes, so what? As he says, wait 1 second. As he teleports. And in this version, because he was rich, he knows Momo. But in this version, Bakugo, what's his name? Deku, Jiro, and let's say Suyu. All of them went to the same school. And, also, he also knows Todoroki because, he went to, there was a banquet or something. Let's say there was a party dinner, and, it was, Izuku's family got invited. As he met Todoroki there, and they hit it off. So, so he hangs out with Momo and Todoroki and Bakugo, Suyu, and Jiro. But, this is the first time they've hung out before, but this is the first time he's gonna have everybody hang out. As, Deku teleports to Jiro's house and knocks on the door. As Jiro answers and goes, oh, Izuku. Well, so, what brings you here? As he goes, get dressed, for, a night out. We're gonna have some fun. As she says, you mean hanging out and partying, not your private kind of fun, right? As he goes, of course, I know you have a girlfriend. She goes, oh, okay, just to make sure. As he says before she's about to close the door when she's about to close the door when Izuku grabs it and says, oh, well, there's gonna be a few people. I'm gonna get Bakugo, Suyu, and a few other people. As she goes, oh, okay. As she just gets some casual clothes on. As Deku looks down and says, let me change. As he teleports home and goes through his wardrobe and grabs a white jacket with let's say a white dress shirt, like a white button down dress shirt with a black tie, with those gloves and a gold chain. And he looks in the mirror and goes, this look doesn't, my gray eyes don't quite look with this, don't quite go well with this. As he changes his eyes to gold, as he teleports to Bakugo's right in his room, and he goes, Bakugo. As Bakugo jumps, and jumps a little bit, goes, damn it, Deku! As Izuku starts laughing his ass off, and he goes, did I scare you? As he goes, you startled me, and you messed up my writing! As he's doing, he's writing something. As Deku goes, oh, okay. Well, get dressed. The gang's gonna hang out. As Bakugo goes, okay. As he gets dressed, as he teleports in front of Tsuyu's house and knocks on the door, as her mom actually answers, and she goes, oh, Midoriya. Sue's not here yet. As he goes, oh, okay. As he teleports away to a little a park where there's a water fountain, and he goes, Sue. As she goes, what, kiddo? As she pops her head out of the water, as he goes, I'm teleporting you home. The gang's hanging out. She goes, fine, kiddo. As he puts his hand on her head as he teleports her, as she goes, I thought you couldn't teleport if you don't know the exact location. As Deku goes, that's correct, but I know the exact location when I need to because of Bull. As she goes, oh, okay, get up. As he teleports to Shoto, as he goes, hey, Shoto. As Todoroki was just laying in bed and goes, what? As he goes, come on. As Todoroki's already dressed, because, he texted Todoroki because he didn't want to wait. As he goes, oh, okay. As he teleports back to the mall where Momo is with Todoroki, and he goes, hey. As Todoroki goes, oh, Momo, nice to meet you again. As she goes, nice to meet you too, Todoroki. As they've met like once or twice before. As Deku goes, wait 1 second, there's gonna be Jiro, Bakugo, and Sue. There's gonna be 3 more people left. 3 more people coming. As he gets a text he gets a notification. He pulls out his phone and he sees in the group text, just labeled the gang, as everybody says they're ready. As Deku just texts, okay, on my way. As soon as the text is sent, he teleports. As when Jiro gets it, and she goes, like calming her nerves and breathing heavily. As he teleports in Jiro's room, and he says, hey, Jiro. She gets startled again and goes, can you for once teleport, in front of us? And he goes, maybe. As he grabs her hand and teleports to Bakugo, and he goes, Bakugo, let's go. As Bakugo says, fine. As he puts his arm around Deku like in a chokehold, as Deku is like, do you have to do this every time? And he goes, of course, bro, because there's no other way, I can beat you. As Deku says, did you just admit that I'm stronger? As Bakugo goes, no, shut up, nerd. And they teleport to Sue's house as Deku says, Sue, come on. As Sue just jumps on Deku's back and goes, let's go. And he says, I am not a horse. As Sue says, well, you are now, kiddo. As he says, fine, and teleports back to the mall. As the moment he teleported, he was behind them. As as Deku looked at Jiro and made, like put his finger over his mouth like the shh gesture, as he lets go of her hand and teleports in front of them as he goes, "Hey guys," as Momo says, "Oh, hi Bakugo and Sue," and Todoroki says, "Oh, hey Bakugo," like and like a kind of snarky tone, and Bakugo goes, "Do you want to fight?" As Todoroki goes, "If we fight, you'll lose. You know that, right?" As Bakugo goes, "Try me half and half." As what's her name? Momo creates a pole out of her left shoulder because that's where they were, and it goes right in between them, and she goes, "Stop fighting, you two." And there you go. Bakugo goes, "Tch." As Todoroki goes, "Okay," and what's it called? Momo grabs the pole and hands it to Deku and says, "Can you store this in your pocket dimension?" And as Deku goes, "Fine." As he grabs it and puts it in his pocket dimension, and then Momo and Todoroki says, "Wasn't there supposed to be 3 people?" As Deku goes, "Oh yeah." As Jiro jumps on Momo and says, "Hey babe," and Momo goes, "You scared me." "Deku, you could have told me my girlfriend was coming." As Deku goes, you know, surprises are good. As Momo goes, "What is with you and surprises?" As Deku goes, "I don't know, they're good." As they just have a fun time, hanging out. Sue is all over Deku, climbing on him, using, like, basically, Sue's being a little kid, basically. And, Bakugo and Todoroki are just bickering at each other. As, what's his name? No, what's her name? Sue says, guys, I turned 18. We can get drinks now. As Deku says, "Oh no." As Bakugo goes, "Let's go. I'll drink. Let's go, nerds." As Midori goes, "Why did you have to mention drinking? We're with Bakugo." As Sue goes, "Oh, yeah, that's right." As Bakugo goes, they go to a pub, and Bakugo says to Todoroki, "I bet I can drink you under the table half and half." As Todoroki says, "You're on." As they get wasted, like wasted. As Bakugo says, "I won." As he drank, he drank the last sip of beer. As Todoroki goes, "Oh, fuck you." As Bakugo says, "I know, I'm awesome." And the rest are just having regular drinks, except for Sue. As Sue's just drinking because she's never been able to. As what's his name? As Jiro says, "Sue, you should slow down." As Sue goes, "Not at all, kiddo." And then Deku says, "Well, Bolt's gonna switch in." As he's still wearing. Actually, no. Let's change it. As he changes his hair purplish and his eyes blue, and his outfit changes too to what you see here. As he cracks his neck and goes, "So, you guys are drinking?" As Momo and Jiro say, "Yeah, it's Sue's birthday," and he goes, "Oh, happy birthday, Sue." As she goes, no need to be such like that. You can be your true self around us." As Bolt says, "Oh, she's really drunk." Because she says that while hanging off of his shoulder. As Momo and Jiro go, "Yep." And Bolt says, ugh, fine. Well, if she's, you know, Sue, how much have you had? And Sue says, like 2 or 3. And Jiro says, no, you've had 7. And she goes, oh right, I've had 7. As Bolt says, damn, you guys. And as Bolt gets a tap on his shoulder as he turns, he puts his head to the side and looks and says, yeah? And we see a girl with brownish blondish hair. And let's say, booty shorts and just a long sleeve. As she goes, hey Bolt. As Bolt says, oh, Cammy. As it's Cammy. As he goes, come on, join in. And the way Bolt knows Cammy is by so one day when Deku was out looking for girls, he got tired and he says, we're switching Bolt. As Bolt says, come on, I don't want to switch. As Deku says, but you always want to switch. As Bolt says, not when you're hunting for girls, you dumbass. As Deku gives him no option as he leaves the body limp as Zuko's body is about to hit the ground as Bolt switches and catches himself and goes, God damn it, Zuko. As Cammy walks up to him and says, are you alright? As he goes, yeah, I'm fine. Just my quirk. And she goes, oh, okay. And, they hit it off and they've been friends for, let's say 2 years. But it's just Bolt that has been her friend. She doesn't know about the thing as Bakugo and Todoroki both go to Bolt and say, hey Bolt, is she your girlfriend? As Bolt says no. And Momo got a little drunk and says, are you sure, Izuku? As Jiro says, oh no, Momo's drunk. She says, are you sure, Bolt? As Jiro says, oh no, Momo's drunk. Oh no, Momo's drunk. As Bolt says, fuck. As Cammy's just thinking, what's so wrong about her being drunk? And Bolt says, you'll see. As she says, Bolt! And points to him. You have no reason to making me question my sexuality. As Bolt goes, here we go. As she goes, there's no reason you're able to look that good. Your quirk is stupid. And, I have to spend hours looking this good. As she starts crying and goes, it's not fair. As what's her name? Sue goes over and says, it's alright, Momo, it's alright, you look good. It's just, he's a cheater. As Bakugo says, yeah, why do you look so, pretty? As Bolt goes, what the fuck, Bakugo? As he goes, hey, it's just a question. As Todoroki says, you want to kiss, Bolt? As Bolt looks at Todoroki, Bolt looks at Todoroki and gives him the, what the fuck, fit kind of face. And, he looks and he says, no. As Todoroki says, come on, dude, just a kiss. As Bolt says, no, I don't want to kiss you. As, Momo, Sue, and Bakugo go, say, come on, Bolt, kiss him, and, start chanting, and he goes, fucking fine. As he kissed Todoroki on the cheek, as Todoroki blushes and goes, I didn't think you would do it, bro. Are you gay? as Bolt says, I didn't want to deal with your bullshit. And, everybody's just laughing at this Bolt, as, well, Sue says to Bolt, don't tell Izuku, but, I've had a crush on him ever since we were little. As Cammy chimes in, oh, Bolt, who is this Izuku fella? As, Bakugo says, oh, has Bolt not told you? He's actually not a person. As Bolt says, shut up, Bakugo. As Bakugo goes, nah, you gotta tell her, you're a quirk. As Cammy goes, really? As Bolt says, yeah, Izuku is the one who was born. I'm just, have you ever heard of a personality quirk? As she goes, yeah, it's a quirk that has a personality. As he goes, yeah, I'm that. And she goes, why have you been hiding this from me? As he goes, you're the first friend I've had that isn't Izuku's friend first. And, I was afraid if you found out, you wouldn't talk to me anymore. And she goes, that's stupid. As he goes, yeah. As, Sue says, come on. As she pokes Bolt and says, come on, tell her how you feel. Come on. As, the drunk people are, like, pushing him. And he goes, Cammy, do you want to go out on a date? As she goes, sure. Then, he teleports them all back because he knows that they can't make it back. As, Jiro asks, why didn't you teleport me to my house? As Izuku says, because I'm leaving you with your girlfriend. Well, Izuku teleports, to Momo's house, leaves them both, and teleports out. As Jiro texts in the group chat, why didn't you teleport me at my house? As Izuku texts, because I'm letting you have some alone time with your girl. And he gets a text, thank you, but fuck you, from Jiro. As he smiles and goes, I knew it. What's her name? Sue has already passed out, and he's holding her, bridal style, as he lays her down on her bed, and, just leaves her there. As he, teleports, well, not teleports, but he opens Sue's door and says, Miss Asui's and Mr. Asui, Sue had a little bit too much to drink, so she's in her room passed out. As they go, oh, okay, Izuku. As he teleports Cammy back to his house. As she goes, oh, so you're not, where are we now? As Izuku says, this is my house. Bolt says, this is my house. And she goes, oh, so why'd you bring me here? In a seductive tone, as he goes, because you know exactly why. As, they have a good old study session, they have a really, good night. As Izuku wakes up the next morning, Bolt wakes up the next morning and goes, cracks his neck and says, so, I guess Izuku's still asleep. As, he walks downstairs and, his maids, the chef are cooking, the meal. And, his mother and father come down and says, oh, Bolt, you're awake. As he goes, yeah, me and my friends went out and celebrated last night. Sue turned 18, so she drank. And, you know how Izuku is with alcohol. As they go, yeah, he gets super tired. What's her name? Cammy walks down, just in a t-shirt that says, Bolt, good morning. As he goes, good morning, Cammy. Inko and Asashi go, oh, and who is this? As Bolt says, "This is Cammy, a friend of mine," and they're like, "A friend, eh?" As Bolt says, "Yeah, my girlfriend." As Cammy blushes, and that's how she goes, "That's my boy." As Inka is like, "Oh, so you finally met a girl, Bolt?" As Bolt says, "Shut up, please. I have a headache because Izuku drinks so much." As he gets slapped and goes, "Ah, Dad, why?" As Asashi says, "Don't talk to your mother like that." As he goes, "Yeah, sorry." As Kami's just laughing as she sits down next to Izuku and they just eat. As Izuku says, "Do you want me to teleport you to your house?" And she goes, "Nah. I called my mom. When we went out drinking, that I probably won't come back for a little bit." As Bolt says, "So you planned on last night?" As she goes, "Hell yeah." As Bolt goes, "Well, fuck. I guess, whatever. So what school are you going to?" As she says, "I'm going to, I was planning on going to Ketsu High, but I decided to, go into the general studies of UA." As he goes, "Ah, well, UA has dorms and, I think I could set some stuff up." As she goes, "Oh, really?" As he calls up Nezu, as he goes, "Hey, Nezu." As Nezu says, "Oh, Izuku." I know before it sounded like, he didn't know, like Nezu didn't know, but the people who are all shocked were everybody but Nezu. Izuku, and Bolt says, "No, it's Bolt," and Nezu says, "Oh, Bolt, how may I help you?" As, Bolt says, "There's a girl, Cammy, she's going to UA." And he says, "Wait 1 second, let me pull up her file." "Oh, yes, she's going into general studies." Izuku says, I know you. So, could you maybe make us put us in the same dorms?" And he goes, "Oh, so you finally got yourself a girlfriend?" And he goes, "Yeah." And, and Bolt says, "I'm willing to pay." And Nezu goes, "No, no, no, it's all good." And Izuku says, "Let me pay, it doesn't feel right." As Nezu says, "No, it's all right." As, let's say a briefcase full of $100 bills pops up in Nezu's office as Nezu says, "What did I say?" And, what's his name? Bolt says, "I said, let me pay." As Nezu says, "Okay, fine, but I'll put you guys in a dorm." And, Izuku, Bolt says, "Izuku's telling me to say, there's another girl named, Suyu Asui. She's in the hero course. She went in the hero course." "Ah, yes, 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 Suyu Asui." So, Izuku has a little crush on her, as, Bolt says, "Yeah, but, could you put her in the same room too?" As he goes, as Nezu says, why don't you two just split apart?" As Bolt says, "I never thought about that." As Nezu says, you and Izuku are the smartest people alive, and you guys didn't think about splitting apart?" As Bolt says, "Yeah, so what? Just because we're smart doesn't mean we don't have lapse in judgments." As Nezu's just laughing. As Bolt hangs up. As Bolt says, "Hey, Mom, Dad." Yes, Bolt." As Bolt says, "So me and Izuku, we're gonna try something. Can we go to the testing ground?" And they say yes. As Bolt says, "Cammy, come on, let's go." as they teleport, as she grabs onto him, and well, she hugs him, and as they teleport, she goes, "Whoa, what's this place?" I see. Bolt says, "This is the testing ground. You know, because my quirk is so strong, we have to have the walls reinforced with carbon fiber and titanium. So I don't, and I still have to repair it constantly." And she goes, "Dang, your quirk must be powerful." As Bolt says, "Yeah, it's dimension." And she goes, "What do you mean dimension?" "Oh, well, Izuku is able to tap into the fourth dimension. I mean the fifth dimension. So time and space is kind of irrelevant to us." And she goes, "Oh." As they split apart, as Bolt, changes his look to this. This is Bolt, and he goes, "Hey, Cammy."